Welcome in, guys, to episode 53 of Coffee and Chel. I am your host, Sleeves, joined by my co-hosts, Kesso and Padre. It has been a minute since our last episode. A lot of
It's been a
stuff.
while, yeah.
A lot of stuff going on. I was in Vegas for 7 days. We're live on Twitch, so throughout, if you're watching or listening, shout out to everyone that's in the Twitch chat today. We're gonna cover all of the stuff going on in Hockey Ultimate Team, and we will do our real life hockey podcast probably tomorrow. But nonetheless, guys, how have you been? What's been going on? Padre, I'll start with you. What's new?
Oh, not much. Just chilled this weekend. I actually did the Peloton for the first time in a while. I was leaking.
How do you still have one?
Yeah.
I don't know. My wife wanted to get one when we had a kid, and because she's like, I just don't have time to go to the gym now with like having a kid. You know how it is, Kes. So it's like it's hard to just get away and go somewhere by yourself. You know what I mean? Like
tough,
there's none of that.
and then you can just go in the other room and do that, and she enjoys it, and it's a lot easier, like on her knees and stuff with like running and whatnot. It's like a lot harder, and so she started using it. I started doing it. And I've just slacked. Like I'm in good shape with hockey and stuff, but dude, that's just a whole nother workout. I did 20 minutes. I haven't broken a sweat like that in a long time. I was dead.
Their business model is like Skype level. Like they fumbled the bag so hard. You know what I mean? Like Skype had a 10-year run before Zoom, and they just fumbled it so hard. I feel like Peloton did. Did you see? Oh man, what's that company? Same kind of thing, like video trainers or whatever, but it's like weightlifting equipment. It's so expensive. It's for like the rich of the rich, right? Where like you'll get like a normal like machine that has cables and whatnot, and it'll be like no weights like that you would select, right? But you type in like what your bench press is. You get a bar and hooks up to the cables, and it will put the tension on for that weight. And there's like a bunch of videos and stuff like that, and it's like crushing because Peloton's like laying off people very rarely. Like doesn't look like they're gonna survive. Like.
I'm sure the working people that have been working from home for 2.5 years can relate to this. Like if working like with a lot of white collar people, there's probably at least 5 to 10 people I've seen on like a Teams call or a Zoom call where they have the Peloton in the back or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, that thing doesn't get used anymore. But then I also hear that they're laying off like all their good instructors and stuff too.
By the way, tonal. That's what I was referring to.
It?
Yeah, it's like 5,000 for like a unit, but it is insane when it comes to weightlifting from home. Like it's a wild.
Lazy, you would like it. I think you would be I'm not gonna lie. I think you would enjoy it. I think that's like your thing.
I think
you might enjoy one.
One of the weirdest things that I enjoy, even when I like lost all of my weight and was in like the best shape of my life, I just like going for like walks, like headphones in.
Yeah.
Like it's something that like I love to do. Like it is. I still do it every like when I did 75 hard. That was the easiest part. I literally went for 2 walks a day, like 8 kilometers. So it's like 4 miles, I think. I would just walk 4 miles every single day, and it was the easiest part of the whole thing. So, dude, Vegas was fun. I gotta say, I hate the Golden Knights, but holy hell, that is the best place to watch a hockey game. It is. Yep. I now understand why Martin Jones would give up a goal in the first 5 minutes of every game against the Golden Knights, because I don't know how goalies can go in, watch the pregame, and be like I don't know how, like, Vegas has got to be one of the hardest places to play in the playoffs, because the fans are ready to run through a wall. I don't know how the players aren't. Like, they put on a show. Like, that's how I would describe it. And you called it, Padre. You said that it would be awesome. I went the Saturday we had tickets to go. Me, CJ, John, and a couple of the other people in our group came. I was so hungover by the time of the game that I didn't get to enjoy it, which kind of sucks. It was at like 6 p.m. Me and Skyla stayed an extra day in Vegas, and so everyone left on the Sunday, and they had a game on Sunday. We weren't leaving till Monday night, and I was like, we're going. And I went and enjoyed it. Like, I was just like, this is the coolest thing.
And thank God you went to that game, right? Was that the Eichel OT winner?
Yeah. Like, one of the craziest OT. Dude, Hellebuck put on, I think... No one watches Winnipeg. Sorry, Winnipeg fans. Like it's not a team that like people watch a lot of, like outside of Winnipeg fans. And I forgot how good that was. Easily the best in real life goalie performance I've ever seen in like the 1,000 hockey games I've been to in real life. I think the shots were like 37-9 at one point, and Hellebuck was just like it was nuts. It was like you forget about how good he is, because like after Vasilevsky and Shesterkin and maybe even Sorokin at this point, like there's like the rest, and Hellebuck is still easily in the top of them. That's probably for the real hockey thing. But
the Americans have some good goaltenders. We got some good goalies. We got Ottinger, Thatcher Demko.
That's true. Yeah, they do have pretty good.
We have some nasty goalies for Team USA coming in the next few years. By the way, not a great place to have a hangover at a Vegas game. That bass in there bumps.
Dude,
it is.
John
Wow.
pulls me aside before the game and he's like, man, it's going to just rattle your nuts. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, dude, the bass. And I'm like, I thought he had too many waters. And I was just like, okay, dude, I get it. And they're probably like, your legs are just shaking. Like, it's just like, it's like a EDM concert or something. It was wild.
And you couldn't turn off the intro song for like the next day once you got back.
I use it every game. Every game before, I'm like, oh, you're going to get fired up, bro. John Wick mode. Like, it just get like... It was nuts, man. I'm super happy I got to go see it. I still hate the Knights.
Happy for you.
I don't like awesome. I still don't like the team. I went to go buy a hat there. I buy a hat from every arena I go to, every place I go to. Yeah. I buy a hat. Dude, their logo looks terrible on merch. Like the hat I ended up with was god awful, and it was the best of the bunch. And they're like the jersey, the gold jersey grew on me a little bit, but it's still just
sick, isn't it? In person, it's so shiny.
Yeah, in person it grew on me a little bit, but still, like I don't know, like of all the things, like their team and their logo and whatnot, I'm still like, nah, not it. But it was still it was a great experience. I left up about $1,000, so I survived Vegas, which was.
Dude, that's awesome. Yeah,
dude, I went like, and it wasn't even on. We all. I used to love craps like when I'm in my early 20s, and I remember in 2019 when we went to GWC, I tried showing everyone how to play craps, but like, it's a very hard game, very hard game to like show people. So there was like 10 of us on the second day, and we were at the casino, and it was kind of in the afternoon, so the craps tables are all dead, right? All the tables are dead, and we just like all sat down, and they're like, "Hey, we're all like brand new to it. Just show us." And this guy just showed us like, how to play craps. We all like went on like a heater, like it was great. It was really fun, but it was sports bets, man. And I was mad because I couldn't do the shot props. But I think I went 9 for 11 in like just like over unders and all that, and it was how I made like almost all my money, which was like nuts. So. But yeah, before we go into any further, I want to hear we gotta talk to people about your shot prop model, because it's had its ups, now it's starting to have some downs. So
it's a ride, man. It's a ride.
It's gambling, brother.
Yeah, I know, right? So like, dude, October, I wanted to get into this with like full transparency, so I posted my picks every single day.
Oh my God.
On Twitter, post them in my Discord, like I tag people. We actually talk a lot about it during the day. And I crushed October. I was up like 28 units on like all the posts I made,
bro.
Dude, and then I looked at my October on like Picket, like it's like this app, kind of like the action app, and like the other ones I did, I was up like 51 units, and
like 51 units in a 3-week span is ridiculous, dude.
Yeah, it was crushing it. I'm doing the same thing now. November is absolutely hammering me. We're 6 days in?
Yep,
and it's just like really bad luck. So like I think after today I'll be up like 17 total since the season started.
That's still wild.
And
like I said before you go into this, like I said when you were going into this, I'm like, dude, if you can be 55%, like that's like a god. For anyone that doesn't know, Optimus is just asking what's a unit. So a unit is what you would normally bet. So if you say you bet, for some people a unit would be like Kessa would say, hey, Chris Kreider over 2.5 shots. Chris Kreider has been awful, by the way. Chris Kreider over 2.5 shots in this game. He's saying recommend bet 1 unit, right? So for some people it'll be $100, some people will be $10, some people will be $1,000. Like Tulane Green Wave is betting $1,000 on every single.
Some whales are betting like $1,000.
He's betting $1,000 in every unit, right? Whereas like so that way you can kind of get the confidence.
People like us aren't we don't have crazy unit size.
Exactly, right? So like fun. There'd be like other ones where he's like bet 0.5 of a unit. So it's like, okay, bet half of what you would normally bet. That's what a unit was. So
yeah. So like, dude, and it's crazy. Like since I've done this, I knew the gambling space was huge, right? And I thought there was a need for like more honesty and transparency. What's that?
The Trent thing. I could
Dude,
not
the Trent thing. So like, yeah, getting into that. So like, I knew there was a need for like the honesty and like the transparency thing, because I think there's like a lot of like negative influencers, I guess, in the space. But like, I've gained so many followers from it. And then like the one day I messaged Book It with Trent. If people listen to this, like, if you like are on TikTok or anything and do anything with gambling, you know who Book It with Trent is. He's the funniest dude, probably the worst sports bettor in the world, but he's like a pure like entertainer. Yeah. He's hilarious. And he does this thing where he has like this Surgical Six stream, and he brings on like people from the community, and you like go on his like talk show during the day. There's like usually like 1,500 people listening or something, and you have to like give the reason why for your pick, and like you have to like send him it beforehand. He sends you a link like if like he likes your pick or something, So I went on the show, like he DM'd me like a link and I was like, oh shit, like book it with Trent, like just DM me, like, oh my God. So like I'm like waiting and stuff and I had to wait for like 2 hours because there were so many people on there. And it was so funny because like 3 weeks ago I was on that EA stream and there were like 10,000 people watching my stream.
Oh, the front
There
page
was
one, yeah.
Yeah, the front page one, right? I was not nervous at all. Wasn't nervous for GWC. For some reason, being on the Book It with Trent thing, I was like nervous as hell. It was so funny. And it sucked because I had thanks, Chris. I had 4 picks that day, right? 3 of them hit, and the one I gave him lost, and I was like, oh no. And it is what it is, but it's been a lot of fun. Like I got into it this year because I knew we were gonna do the hockey podcast, and like I needed a thing to make sure like I was on top of like my hockey stuff. And it's been so much fun like following it like from a numbers perspective, just because I'm a huge nerd. So like I got my like my spreadsheets open and stuff. So dude, November has to turn around. It just has to.
It will, man. It will.
Chris Kreider is gonna put me in an early grave.
Dude, it's just been hammering the unders.
Dude, Chris Kreider, like I need Nip and Biscuits to go down there and like throw a beer at him or something.
Yeah, he's about to. The way he tweets on Twitter.
Yeah.
I will say, by the way, that Trent at you thing, it was so funny. Trent, I actually know the guy that records for him and does all the video work. He's from St. Louis. So when I saw you were on there, I go, hey, the guy with the pig. I'm like, that's the guy who did the podcast. So he's like, no way, that is so funny. The look on Trent's face, he was absolutely stunned.
Yeah,
he couldn't even. Everything I think you said about units and everything went in one ear and out the other because he just is like, what is that pig's name? And you're like, it's Henry. And he's like, Henry the pig. And he's like, yep. And then, I mean, that was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Like, I could not believe you were on it. I was stunned when I saw that on Twitter.
That was
Dude, I can't believe it because I've been watching him for a while. I DM'd him like whenever he was at like 20,000 followers, like before he like blew up. And I'm like, the only thing I said to him was like, dude, I love what you do. Like, it's hilarious and stuff. And he responded back then. And like, since then, like he's just been on this crazy trajectory. Like he's just crushing it.
He used to be in my Discord too.
I saw that. I couldn't believe that whenever I saw his name in there.
Dude.
He's come in the Royal Rumble a few times.
All right, guys. Before we go any further, we gotta give a shout out to Gamersaloon, the host of our podcast. If you guys are looking to go and play some money games in NHL or whatever game you want, Gamersaloon is where you want to do it. It is the safest and best place to play money games. So the link is down below. Make sure you guys check them out if you're on Spotify or Apple Pod or you're watching the video. The link is down below, so make sure that you check them out. All right, let's talk about fantasy hockey events going on right now. One of my favorite events every year in Chel in Huts is the Evo event because EA really doesn't have any control over it. So Matthew Shane last year. And, they have no control, which is hilarious to me. And it usually is the most exciting because it involves the real-life thing. And I think that any event that has the real-life thing is such a huge plus. Man, did they go conservative. They did not want a Matt Duchene situation ever to happen again. Castle, we'll start with your thoughts on at least the first week, because I think they might have redeemed themselves in week 2, but at least the first week of the Evo event.
Dude, I was this close to making a video, like going over it, and I was just like so disheartened by it. It was just such a disappointment. The way they priced, we were just talking about like the analytics and stuff, right? Every year for this event in the prior years, you can look at cards and you can be like, this guy could pop off, whatever. They put the overalls so low, and the way they had it to where for these guys to get to 99. They have to like match career highs or something. It was insane. It was insane. And like even like the Robert Thomas was like one of the MSPs from the first week, right? Dude, I have as many shots as that guy in the NHL. Like he doesn't shoot the puck.
He doesn't shoot the puck. Yeah.
He doesn't shoot the puck, man. And you're
like what like the formula this year was like, what is it? Where are the 20 goal scorers? And let's stat them for 30. And, like, that's what it feels like they did. Like, I'm wondering if we would have the same thought on the event if Matt Duchene did not explode last year. Because that was an anomaly.
No, we would 100% because there was still Jared McCann. There was still the James Neal from the prior year. There's always these people that are, like, good picks that you can look. It's like Duchene obviously blew up. But there was no Jared McCann, like, in that first week. Like, you had, like, Yanni Gord, right? Like, come on now.
And they put him like under 8. Like that is like the worst part, because like this event, I understand they have to make it. They have to make them expensive because they could be giving out 99 overall players, right? And they've got multiple synergies and all of that. And I understand that, but they are being so scared to have a Matt Duchene situation that they just like killed the event because, dude, like, first of all, I can't believe they gave Evander Kane a card just from like a marketing thing. Like, I'm actually pretty stunned they gave Evander Kane a kind of a profile card. They put him at 64 overall. Now, he's probably going to hit 30, 35 goals, right? But, dude, like, you can't use that card until February, you know? Like,
yeah, and by the time, I mean, you're still spending 600 to 800K on that.
Exactly. It's 600K to get him. Like, the event is a very, very delicate balance because it is always going to cost a lot for these cards, and as it should, right? But, like, you gotta have, they basically said F you to everyone that's free to play that did not start the game and immediately go, I'm saving everything for Evo. You just couldn't.
Dude, I did
price.
that. I'm free to play. I saved everything. I don't know if I had enough to make one of them.
Dude, on my God Squad, bro, I had to spend like 400K and like sell a bunch. Like, it was absurd, man. It was just absurd. But week 2, they definitely saw the reception to week 1 because they gave one to Rasmus Dahlin. And it's funny because in prior years it was the Evo, right? Because like they make the Evos and they have no control over what happens at the start of the season. That's why the event should be the very first week or very close to it, and it's just cheaper or whatever. And you really gotta predict, right? Because that's the thing. Like, if it comes out at the start of the season, it could be expensive, whatever, but you're really predicting the whole year. If you release it a month into the season, you already know who's popping off and like
you already see how lines are. Like that's what happened last year with the McCann thing. Whenever you see like, hey, this guy's on the first line, like
exactly.
Yeah, no matter what. Like this year, you see Dahlin has a goal in like almost every single game.
Yep. So
it ruins something.
That was what was interesting. So the master set players like Fiala and Thomas, whatever, and they statted them so low, they basically took them out of being exciting options. Week 2, master sets are a lot better. Well, a little bit better. And but it's Dahlin. So Dahlin was not a master player. So they chose him because the master sets they choose before launch, and they can't do anything about it because the card art's already in the game. But the event cards like Dahlin and all that, like they chose him. So they definitely listened because Dahlin is like, he is the one. He's the Matt Duchene this year, you know? And he scored with 0.1 seconds left in that last game. Did you guys see that?
Yeah. I didn't even think that would count.
Yep, it was nuts. So, and then they gave one to like Nylander, exactly, like a little bit like any Leaf, but you know, it was it's pretty. Wow,
that's so funny.
That's something else, you know.
That's so funny, especially for what I just said. He'd agree with me, I'm assuming.
Why?
Hey, what are the?
Why are they so scared to give? Like you say, like they don't like giving 99s, like the Duchene thing, right?
Yeah.
Why? What are they scared of? Because like you always say this too, and they make the game for casuals. So,
that has to, because like that's the economy, right? Like the 99%ers are the ones.
But it's super expensive to make one. So what does it matter if, I don't know, like let's just ballpark it and say how many guys could realistically, like let's say 1,000 people play the game.
I'll never understand their algorithm to be like, we can't give out this many cards or this because then all of these people like. Because it's like, if everyone's on the same playing field, right, then what does it matter? Like, why can we not have, like, and it's funny because outside of this event, specifically this event, they've given out 3 master set player level, they've never been done. Also, there may or may not be a master set player in my viewer list watching this. Brother, if you could shoot just a little bit more, that would be phenomenal. We'd thank you. Your card is very cheap, and I want to buy it.
I told Bob when they gave Robert Thomas a fantasy card, I said, if you were just a little bit fatter or a little bit taller, I'd probably make you. I go, but I don't think I'm gonna make it, unfortunately.
Thanks for listening. By the way,
it was so funny whenever I saw that. Whenever I saw his card was released, your card was released, I was like, he has 5 shots through 6 games.
Oh, we know why that card was released. His boy Clapperton loves Bob. So I hope for Bob's sake and the Blues' sake, he starts tucking a few for the card and for the team.
Though, like that's my favorite part of this event, and a lot of people, I know you hated it. I loved it when I was like at an Ice Dogs game or wherever I was, and my phone would explode when Duchesne would score.
Well, I
That's
didn't
my
hate it from
favorite thing about this event.
I didn't hate it from you. You watch hockey. The kids that were like,
It
how did
gets you to
Matthew?
watch though. That's it
I
gets
know,
you to
but it
watch.
gets to watch for like 2 months. But I hated the kids who were like, how did Matthew Shane score 30 goals this year? Like,
Yeah.
what's the hockey? I'm like, guys, he's scored like 30 plenty of times.
I can't wait for the real hockey pod when we can take our victory lap on Vegas. That's definitely happening.
Dude, there's a few predictions we've had. I look good with the Islanders right now too.
That is
Remember
true.
I said that the Islanders would be good. Everyone's like, oh, they're gonna suck.
That is true. I said they'd be awful.
Did we write down our predictions?
Oh, it's in video form. They're there.
I know they are, but like, dude, I was low on Buffalo, dude. They're sick.
Buff, dude. Okay, that's for the next episode. I got so much to say about Buffalo. So
they need
the Evo event, like week 2. Okay, let me ask you this: is there any that interests you? I'll start with Padre first because you're the cheapest.
Darlene would be my favorite one to get because he's the perfect build. I haven't seen any up. And then obviously
I think it's an issue with the buy now price. It's set at $750. He is immediately a million coin card. So I think at some point they're going to raise his limit and he'll be able to be staying on the market.
Okay, yeah. And then like I would like to get like Petro just for fun, but he's too expensive just to get for fun for me. Just because I love Petro and I don't know. I could see him getting to like a 92 overall because what is it? Goals for defenseman is every 2 it goes up, something like that.
Defenseman's plus 2, yeah. So you only need a few.
Yeah. Belsky would be fun too to try out when he's a 99.
Yeah,
that would be fun to try
they
out.
hammer his card because he's not usable until he hits 99. Like even at 98, he has 90 skating. Like it's you know what I mean?
That's
like
true.
It's just his card is so hammered, and because he's not very big, right? He's like statted like he's this big, huge, giant guy, but he's like he's not. So I would say like just from a master set. Let's pretend like just from the master set players. Week 1, none of them are like even close to being worth it. Unfortunately, in my opinion.
Sorry, Tomer.
Yeah, sorry, Tomer. Week 2, Fowler's interesting because he is usable now, but so risky because he hasn't had more than 60 games in 5 years, and he doesn't score a lot. But no matter what, let's pretend he gets hurt. He's out a month. Like he has 90 speed and he's 6'2". Like so he's like no matter what he is usable. I think Stützle is by far the like epitome of this event of like what it is supposed to be. He's a young, exciting player. It gets everyone to watch a team that no one would watch. And he's exciting, and he's not a bad card. He's got elite edges, like a couple goals, and his skating is like in the mid-high 80s, and like I think it'd be kind of fun. But Kesso, you have a little more coins. I think actually I don't know if you have any coins. Are you?
Dude, I got like 200,000. I should have like 500 soon.
Are you gonna try to get one?
So the ones I like Capo Caco. Dude, him's a
What?
Benejet. I don't know what they're doing with Chris Kreider. What the hell he's doing in real life, but like
Caco.
that dude, that line is just so dominant. Like they control like I think Caco scored today too.
He's a free card, by the way. You get him for free.
Oh, you do?
He's in the. Welcome to the Hut Podcast. You can get there's a prospect choice pack. And
okay, pick him. I think he's gonna get like 30 this year. I know that sounds like crazy, but I like him for my other things that I think could hit pretty well. Like I think Jake DeBrusk. Like I don't know if they'll keep that first line together.
He's in the first power play too, I think.
Yeah, but like Pasternak's been playing with like Krejci and Hall, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they're gonna shift that around to like put all 3 together on the top line, the big dogs, to where DeBrusk will shift down.
Yeah.
But he's been shooting a ton. I think he'll be good. And then there's like one like Joe Pavelski's gonna hit 99, but like, dude, he's 5'11" by the time he hits 99.
That's what I said. If it's gonna cost you $800K, by the time he's usable, $800K will get you a master set team of the year, Austin Matthews. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So. Like Timo Meyer's a good one. That guy
bro, he's a shot prop god. You must love him.
He's never lost for me. I don't think he gets like 8 shots a game.
Timo just shoots everything. Man.
Yeah, and then Kadri, obviously, I think a lot of people are talking about him. But then like some of the other ones are just boring. Like I don't really care. Like I know they put the EU players in there for the EU fan base, so I just don't pay attention.
I want to touch on them because I think that defenseman, the card's green. Couldn't tell you who he is, but like. That as like a Hut player, like sure.
Theodore Lindstrom?
Yeah, like he looks all right, and so does Simon
Dude, he's
Moser.
fast for some reason. Yeah. I have this card pulled up. He has like 88 speed at 82.
Yeah, like his card's not bad, but like that isn't what this event is about to me. Like I love the real life aspect, so like, because I don't watch that league, it doesn't like sure you could get him to be a good hut card, but like I wouldn't want him in my lineup because I'd just be like an untradeable guy that like I don't like. You're stuck with him even though he's not a favorite player of yours. So I think I bought Fowler at 650. It costs 800 to make one of these guys, and I bought Fowler at 650 because I think if he scores once, million coin card. I think that people will go like even
I
when the
agree
event's
with
done.
that. I mean, that's why I made coins on Riley last year, just because he had like 2 goals in the game or something, and I sold him kind of after that burst.
Yep.
And people bought into the hype.
Yeah, I think Darlene is the one to grab though. He looks absolutely nuts. Also, yeah, I've said this a bunch though. I've gotten to see Pavel Mitnikov play like live against the Dogs. OHL defensemen are drafted. They like the entire offense runs through them. So like he's a pretty safe bet to hit. Like, but he's not a card you can get for free. Like he's not in that prospect pack. But if you see him for like 200K, I think that might actually be a half decent one. So if you're looking for them, all right, let's talk about dude. I joked around. I wanted to make a video highlighting all of the bugs and issues in NHL. Not to be like, these are all the things, these need to be fixed, but like, here are all the bugs, and here's if you can fix them or not, and here's how you fix them. And maybe that would put some pressure on them to like, So, I want to ask you, okay, Padre, what's the most annoying one you've experienced so far?
Oh, I would probably say strategies. I don't like the fact that I have to sit there in a game and not know what's really working, what's not working. Is the sliders working? Are they? I have no clue. I have a notepad on my phone in front of me that has like the strategies pulled up in case I go down, so that I know which ones to turn on to make my pressure go. Like I haven't had it memorized yet. I haven't played the game enough. That's, I guess, in my opinion, the most annoying one because I just feel like it's such a simple fix. Like I talked to Ben Ross in DMs about it, and he told me it's just, I guess from and what you've told me, it's a lot of people. I feel like they're combining a lot of things and putting it all into one patch. I just would have liked to see maybe like a smaller patch already. I mean, the game's been out almost a month now ish, maybe less than a month by a little few days, but I just feel like by now they should have had some sort of patch to fix this type of stuff. Just some of the simple things. And then, like, I guess, sorry, I have a 1A, 1B. The hut matchmaking is the most annoying thing. Just as a competitive player, I don't care. If you want to keep it this way, like, I know Kessel's big on it because he can get his games done quicker. I agree with that.
Hey, I'm 20-0, dude. I'm a top
out of top 100, 20-0.
But from two things. You can get it. I like the matchmaking being quicker, but then you have guys like Duncan Deli who go 20-0 who are like 115 because there was over 100 people on Xbox going 20-0. If you just pull up the good player streams on Twitch, you can literally avoid all the good players and get dandies all the diaper dandies all the way up there. And the issue I have is like just make it win-based rewards if you want to keep it this way. But I know you're going to probably say this, Sleaze. I know you too well. You're going to say, well, they don't have the ability probably to do that in the game. That's fine.
I think it wasn't intended. Like I'm sure that they might be able to do that. I know that this is like I think it's an issue.
Yes.
And that they will rectify it. But it's so funny because it's like, hey, this actually isn't that bad of a thing. Why don't we just make the rewards? But it'll go back to what it was.
Right.
And it ends up kind of being like I think that cross console will fix hut champ. Like, I think this is something that when cross console comes, whenever it comes, that alleviates the not being able to find a game. And hut champs is the one mode where you should cater to the 1%. 1000%. I've always said this, that like, it should be the one mode that the top of the best get, like their feedback should impact all of the decisions made for this one mode specifically, because that is what it is for, right? It's not like I don't want the 1%'s opinion on squad battles because they're not the ones that like play squad battles, right? So I think that when the cross console comes, it will definitely help out with that. And this should be where you see all the issues fixed. Dude, the strategies thing. Like we're all strategy aficionados. We love our strategies, and it is really annoying to like just super annoying because I like when someone's like passing the puck to the neutral zone a ton, and I don't know if I'm switching to the 1-2-2 red, and I've got to like guess. Like it just sucks, and it's Cass. I mean, like it's been.
It's stupid. It's November 6th, the day that we're recording this. The game came out October 10th or something maybe.
Yeah.
We're a month in. I know they were probably aware of it quite some time before that.
Can confirm.
Probably. And it's not fixed. It's stupid. I don't know.
It's a rough, really rough look. I think Because what was your most annoying one? Sorry, I was gonna ask you.
I mean, those are all annoying. I can't pick a most annoying one because there's so many that are like 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D.
Yeah.
The input delay on PlayStation is exhausting, nauseating. That I've played under the I had the same house, right? Same internet for years, for 2.5 years now. Never had an issue. Everything runs great, but I play a game online on NHL and there's just input delay. It says 15 ms. It says 18 ms. And from what I've heard is that Xbox doesn't experience the same thing. I don't know if that's true or not. You mentioned, because people in your chat mentioned or Twitter mentioned, like if you play wired, it fixes it. That doesn't fix it. Thrash told me that if you turn vibration off, it fixes it. I did play a very like good game tonight of Rivals where it was like a good connection, so I'll see if that fixes it. But if that is the fix of turning off vibration to fix input delay for this game, just close the business down. Like that makes no sense.
Yeah, no, I've this game has felt so heavy, you know, and a lot. It's very difficult to understand, like, because there's every once in a while I'll get matched up with someone in Ontario or where it's like they're playing in my living room, and it's like, man, this is fun. Like you can, because I like.
Dude, it feels good.
Yeah, like I like being able to like actually use L2 and not like in a cringy way, like being able to actually turn and not feel like a boat, right? And when you're trying to do end-to-end rushes, it's like over in like 0.5 of a second. Like you're just beelining back and forth, like, and I don't know what the
somebody mentioned the black screen one. And
that
I have
one
yet
as
to
I was
experience
going to.
this.
So this has a fix, guys, for anyone listening. The black screen is awful. So I have been on my no money spent team, been playing squad battles. I can't stand it. It's not for me, but I want to maximize rewards. So I've been playing it, and if I did not know how to fix it, then I would have taken 2 losses already, and my shot at top 100 is completely over. So I think I'm Coeld on Reddit. I think that's who found it. I could be saying that wrong. I'd like to give him credit, but I found it on Reddit, and essentially how you fix the black screen. This goes for any mode, but it'll happen in squad battles a lot. If your screen loads in, it's all black, and you can see like the icons above people's heads if you have that on. All you got to do is just start spamming X to take a penalty, and if you take a penalty and watch the cutscene that happens afterwards and don't skip it, you will then be able to take the face off and everything will go. You'll be down a man, but you'll be able to actually play the game. So that
doesn't piss you off that's the fix for
it's a joke, like an absolute joke. And what scares
is that only on one person's end too?
What do you mean?
Like, is it like is the black screen only on your end, for example? So when you take that penalty, is your opponent like?
I don't know if it's an online thing. I don't know if because I've had it.
I've had it online. I've had it online.
Oh, then yes,
black screen.
That is how. Yes, that is how. I think you both are. You're both
black
screen. Yeah.
Okay.
So
sorry.
That one better be fixed because if I wasn't in the know, I would have just lost my week because of how busted Squad Battle's reward system is. You can't mess up. Like, you can't have a disconnect. You can't have an L. And it's like, man, that's really frustrating. So, it is what I think the black screen, that one is really frustrating just because it makes, it better be fixed in the first patch. That I don't know if that'll ever happen or when it'll come, but, that one will be pretty good. The one that's most infuriating to me, which is so random, is the ability to not pass. Happens
that's
once.
That's not random. That's an essential. There's 90 to 100 passes a game in this game.
Dude, I mean, buzzing around. Dude, I'm not good enough to play Division 1 and 2 players and have the inability of my Johnny Gaudreau to not be able to pass a puck. So, it happens so randomly. I don't know what triggers it. And that's the problem, is, think about it like this. You go to the devs and be like, this is a broken bug. But it's like, how did you get that to happen? I don't know. How do you fix something where it's so intermittent you don't know? So this is like once every, I would say, 10 games. It'll happen, and you're basically, your guy, it's like R2 doesn't work. You're just stuck, and you have to flip the puck over the boards. Yep. And that one's brutal. The bubble hockey thing is also a joke. I haven't seen that one in a minute, though. The bubble hockey one kills me. And same thing, flip it over the boards.
Right. Some people are saying the passing's only like that on PlayStation. I haven't been able to add. Okay, so it's broken on Xbox too. Some in the chat saying. Kessa, you know what it reminds me of kind of when you were saying like how you have to do this in order to keep playing this or whatever. It reminds me back in the day, like with the ranked versus lines, like you weren't able to use that because it would cause the game to loop. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
there's a thing this year too in that, right? Like I
You can
haven't
save. I
played.
haven't tested it yet. I don't even know if it does anything. If it starts making the game loop again, it'll be like
Well,
NHL 09 all over
can you
again.
play private versus games? Play a
Oh
friend
yes.
right now?
Oh, so
Let me tell you guys about this one.
yeah, this
So
is ridiculous.
So, in order for you to be able to change your team, because me and my friend, we tried to play a ranked versus game, we both had to use Boston. We literally couldn't figure it out. Then Gren came in the chat and actually was like, hey, me and Promo were doing this. It took us about 40 minutes to finally figure it out. The home guy has to go to the middle, and then the away guy is able to pick his team, and then he's able to edit his lines. However, you're not able to edit your strategies. You have to use the same strategies as your opponent on the home team until you get in the game, and then you can edit those certain. I mean, I can't even make this up. I mean, I'm not even joking.
I don't even know how that happens. Like, dude,
I don't know. How does all the stuff that worked last year, that, like, listen, I remember, Sleaze, okay, you said, like, this is going to be kind of like a lame duck year, probably. We're going to have a similar game. That's fine, okay? Like, I get it. If NHL 24 is great, awesome. I don't know how, like, we have somehow a worse, more like backwards game where things that have worked for years, you always made fun of it. The Mark Crawford strategies that worked for 15 years. How do those not, like, I don't know how all this doesn't work anymore. It's the craziest thing ever.
I think that there's a lot of simple things that are in the game and they really mess with like the foundation. So like, I'll give you an example. Rosters, like offline rosters, if there is one single issue that does not line up with the offline roster, let's say it's like someone doesn't have a contract or a team assigned and they're on a roster, it will brick the whole game. So like that's why roster updates, like if something happens, they like immediately put it out. But no one realizes that it has that much impact on the game. I think the adding of the power play, the two new strategies, which are just awful to use because one-timers don't work, I think it bricked all of the because what it looks like is if you were trying to choose a strategy, it's like one to the left, right? Like one to do passive is one to do red, or vice versa. Like it's one to the left, and it just makes me think that like you just gotta move it over, and it's because there's one new one like in the pool. Same thing with like hut lineups. Your winger is listed as your center, and it's like everything's just moved over one, and they didn't like drag it one over one unit, and it's messed up the entire system. Yeah, that one's nuts. The versus things was that one's wild to me. But the for anyone, again, I'll say it one more time: if you're getting the black screen in squad battles, take a penalty by spamming X off the face-off. You just keep spamming it. Eventually, you'll take a penalty. And watch the entire cutscene of you getting the power play or a penalty, and then the game will kick back on, and it'll allow you to play. So brutal. I really hope that this is fixed. I've said it a few times. I think this is a game that should have been released in January. They had to release it in October because Q4 is up and it's a business, and that's just the grim reality. I don't think it's all in the devs. I don't think they're incompetent or anything like that. I think that they have to release a game in a time frame that is not viable. It's not, and
yeah.
Hopefully next year, because cross console is a thing. It's gotta be because I said this too. Cross console will work no matter what because they will stop everything to make sure cross console works. Like they will stop focusing on the next game if cross console doesn't work because it's the only new thing. Like it is the only new thing in the game, so it'll work. And I think that the fact that I would assume that old gen is not a thing anymore. And the focus, like I have a lot of hope that they'll be able to like fix it. But man, what a rough thing it's been. Let's talk a little bit about gameplay. Yeah. What are you noticing is going to be the trend and meta in 23 now? I guess we'll start with you.
People just circling, and it's so boring. It's so boring. People just circle in the corner with like an unstoppable force or something. They'll do a far side shot or. They'll just force a cross crease. It's so easy to stop. I'm so sick of it, dude. Like, dude, you know what I'm doing, man? And I'm 20-0 in champs because I'm the best player in the world. I'm just shooting for deflections. I watched Junior Pens. He's just shooting for deflections. Yeah.
You know what's awful too? When you play someone and like I'll get into a game against someone who is like literally just living behind my net, and I just will not move. Yeah. And that's like skill zoning. But it's like, if that is the counter, Like that,
It
you
is.
cannot be angry at someone for doing that, because it is not like you were trying to create plays and I'm just sitting in the middle to stop like passing plays and whatnot. It's like the way that you stop someone trying to circle around your net is by planting someone at the end destination. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and that is
I
what
had a really interesting interaction with somebody actually about that. It was like Thursday or Friday, and this ties back to the champs thing too. I played somebody that played just like that, and I think I won the game 4-1. I had like some shitty goals and stuff, and he finished the game with like 12 minutes of TOA, and he had 3 shots, and he came into my chat, very nice guy, and he was like, "Oh, dude, you're nasty at the game,"
I
and I was like,
saw that. I
"Hey."
think it was in your stream.
Yeah, yeah, and I was like, "Hey, you should probably like mix in some like D to D shots or something, like some point shots, because it's all you're going for." And he was like, "No, you're just nasty at the game. I went 20-0 last week." And I like no, no, like you should, like if you want to like get better at the game, like you got to mix in some other things,
Yeah,
because
like
it's so easy to stop.
I think that the D to D shots and for tips, I think that's kind of, I think it's, I don't want to say it's lame, but you're definitely hoping for a randomness. The tips where you are L2ing at the point and your centerman looks at you and you're firing for the stick, that's a skill to it, because
Yeah.
you're taking advantage of someone not playing tight point and you're waiting and you're shooting for that actual thing. So like competitively, it's annoying because it's kind of RNG. But like that is an actual play to set up to get your shot through that I find somewhat fun. Like I actually enjoy that a little bit. It's weird that like we went from just short side for 15 years.
This comment in the
Dude, this is great, dude.
Can I read? I have to censor one of the words.
Yeah.
Somebody just commented, if you're listening on Spotify or YouTube, this guy comes in. He says 3-something, kissing EA's ass like always. What else is new with EA Game Changers these days that get free shit and hut by only saying good things about the game that these idiots are doing right now? Same shit, different.
Dude,
Oh
we
my
just
God.
spent a solid 20-minute segment on how busted this game is and that we can't stand it. Oh my God, what a stupid narrative.
Just a heads up, McDavid fan. He's number 97. He's not number 32. Like, McDavid fan 30, like, that's just a brutal name. Second off, go follow me on Twitter. I rip this game to shreds all the time. Probably to a fault almost, because, like, me and Sleeves literally got in an argument, kind of behind the scenes. We kind of, like, bickered with each other like two schoolgirls about this game, and I was bitching about it, and, like, he has to deal with this crap on stream every single day. And I'm like bitching all the time in our group chat. And he's like, dude, I don't want to hear about it. I have to hear about it all day long.
It's not a good game, bro. It is not a good game. It's
not
a good video game.
No one in the chat, like as much as I was, bugging Sleeves about it, like, he says it's not a good game all the time too, guys. Like, I don't know what you guys like want. He's tried to do stuff. Kesso's tried to do stuff. All the game changers are trying to give. When Kesso alluded to earlier, he tried giving them input months before the game came out. They still haven't listened to him. They can only do so much.
I don't think that, and I do want to say one thing, and I always do reiterate it. It's I don't even put the blame on the devs.
It's not, man.
It's an exec thing.
It's an exec.
They have to make a game in 1 year.
Yeah.
And they probably had a list of like 50 bugs, right? And they probably had a guy in their ear like, hey, no matter what, like you got to get this game out October 10th. They don't have the manpower to do this. They just don't. You can't make a game in a year. Like you can't.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the issue, because like a lot of the developers that actually speak and are very passionate about the game. They want it to be good. No one goes to work and says, "Hey, you know what? I want to make a piss poor product just to piss everybody off."
What we're forgetting too is like a lot of these devs grew up playing the game and they like the game.
Yeah.
Like they're fans of it. Like they're not like, dude, you know what? All these idiots. Let's how can we screw over the fans today?
Yeah.
You know,
this will get them. But
yeah.
No, it sucks, man. We're you know what the most annoying part is that the community ends up fighting each other over it. Like the rivals, dude. This is I literally made a Reddit thread about this. It was like everyone was like, dude, stupid idiots got rid of arcade. It was like the only fun thing to do. And then everyone was like, there's no other way to play 5-on-5. Like, why would you want to play arcade? You've got Hut Rush. It's like, man, the fatal flaw here is not that we should have to choose one. It is that both of them should be available. It is a...
You know what this is? You remember it's really what like politicians and like the corporations do. They get the regular people to fight each other.
That's it. That's all we're doing.
Meanwhile, you got Johnny EA over there. I say this all the time, with 5 yachts going to like eyes wide shut parties.
Yeah.
That they aren't hearing any criticism. because the devs get it, the game changers get it, streamers get it, and it's just like, dude, they're fine.
They're like, as long as that Zegras flip pass is in the game, so we can make a bunch of videos about it. Bang, we're good. Like that's it. Like it sucks, man. It sucks.
Hey, speaking of the Zegras like flip pass, can we talk about the only skill gap in this entire game is to probably do the Michigan, and Ketso is like one of the few people in the world that can do it. It's the only skill gap. Yeah, there's nothing in this gameplay that has a skill gap anymore. I'm convinced.
His card is low-key gross because if you get someone who skill zones because you're just someone that fucking rotates around the net all game, if you are the player that should go get Zegras, because if you match up against someone, I just won't chase you anymore. I'm sick of it. Like, it's boring. It's a really boring way to play, and I'll just let you stay behind the net. Like, go and do your thing because it's not enjoyable for me to play. Like, I just don't enjoy the experience of it, especially when you get into Division 2 and 1. But, dude, if you have Zegras' X Factor card, that thing, it's an automatic. Like, it's so easy. I did it in one go with him in practice mode on All-Star, and I had never hit it last year. And it's like, dude, like, it's nuts, man. It's so easy to do. But it is what it is. So the tip thing, like I said, man, I think that for competitive play, I can't wait for the GWC to be crowned with a tip shot, because that's always been hated. But I'll call it out now. Like, that's my kind of like fun thing is like, okay, I'm going for a tip shot here, right? At least then it shows like that's kind of fun. I don't mind that, but I've heard some people in my Discord be like, I just had like a 6-5 game and we all just shot point, like we all just, like all of them were tips, and I'd be like, dude, that's tough. Because
that sounds fun.
Yeah, absolutely. But
not gonna lie, there's something about a tip in though that feels kind of
feels
nice. It feels great. It's about as good a feeling as I used to have when I used to hit the backdoor sauces. That's another thing they took out of the game. I can't hit a backdoor sauce, and that was
I hit a couple this past week.
You have to get it on the backhand and you like just shovel it in.
I hit like I would say 1 out of 30, 40 Kesso. That's how I feel like it is now, probably. Give or take.
The other thing is that it's new. Like,
yeah,
for the last 15 years, we've had the short side wrister, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's like how you would score, or like the backdoor one timer, right? And now it's like everything's far side and tip shots. It's like, at least it's different. Like, you know what I mean? Like, at least, whether it's good or bad, that's that's negligible. It's like, at least it's not the same, But yeah. Anyways, all right, let's talk about content. I want to talk about content this year, and we'll get your thoughts on it, because I think content's actually been pretty strong. The fact that we've gotten 3 88 overall cards for free. I don't like giving EA props very often. I have a no money spent series, and my entire first line is for free. And I think that, and it's like a choice pack other than Teuvo Teravainen.
Yeah,
we can talk about our battle in on podcast. Kesso, what are your thoughts on like the free 88s and specifically the flashback cards?
Dude, I did not. So I didn't even want to be involved in this. I ignored this whole text exchange.
I would have done the exact same thing had I not been.
It was on Halloween night.
Yeah, dude, I was like,
airport, dude, I was like, Jesus Christ, like, where's this coming from? Because it's like you went in on sleeves, like, just, I was like, what the hell? I was like, did he have a bad day or something? Did whatever? I don't know.
I was stuck in an airport for 8 hours. I'm like, I'm not having this conversation about the game being bad. We got a free 88. Stop it. Shut up.
It's fine.
I like it. I don't like the choice of the Teravainen just because I don't think he was a popular card at the time.
Yeah.
But dude, they're giving you a free 88 of like a flashback from an MSP from a prior game. I think that's sick. I think they're gonna do it more this year, considering they already did it once. And there's people that play this game. We've been playing Hut for years, right? We have favorite cards from years past, like that. There was a Yager trade deadline one. Like, if that's brought back in like a freeway, like, that'd be amazing. And it's not like they're oversaturating it. It's not like it's like an event with like nothing but old cards.
That would be bad.
I was surprised by it.
So Padre, let's hear your side. So the Teuvo Teravainen comes out, and it was obviously an old card.
Yeah.
You were against them repurposing content because they're essentially just like doing it. They're not coming up with something new. Do you still feel like that because it's not like a full event, or you just don't want to see the old cards?
No, so my thing was like, my original text to you is I thought they were like lazy. And now that I've learned and listened to more things you guys have like told me about with the game changer stuff and just kind of like the development, like now I guess I fully realize, apparently, all they are doing is focusing on NHL 24. Because normally, as in prior years, we have a patch by now, easily. We've had more, some kind of change with all these complaints and all these issues. There's been something. And the fact they haven't even done that shows me, like, I guess how little of a working staff
I guess.
Yeah, like working staff, or like little amount of employees they have, I guess. I don't know, whatever the case is, because there's no communication. We have no clue, right? So I guess it really wasn't lazy. It was just, this is the way of doing it. I have no issue with giving a free 88. I wasn't complaining about that. That's fine. I agree with you. It's awesome. For me, like free to play, Kesso, free to play, your free to play account that you have, no problem with it whatsoever. I used to love the back in the day when they gave us on Christmas Mike Richards and Malkin Christmas card
Mike
and
Richards
Paul
is, like,
Bissonnette.
Mike Richards, that's it. I just said Brad Richards in the chat. I couldn't remember.
Yeah,
who
Mike
it was.
Richards.
Brad,
So
I
I didn't
love that.
play Hut that year.
No one
That's
did.
why I
Yeah,
didn't know it.
you guys weren't around that year. That was
I played. I used to wager. I used to do wagers and sell the coins. Yeah, I'm a bad boy.
It was a lot back then.
It was exactly. It was a lot back then. So my thing was, and I think you, because I have been negative about the game. I'm sorry. It's just not. There's not a lot of positivity.
I'll let me explain this, guys. So I have to play this game. Not have to. I'm blessed to be in the position I'm in. Don't get it twisted.
Yes.
But the game is in a spot where I am not enjoying it from. I actually don't mind the gameplay from the fact that it is broken and I've got a year of I have to go to work. Like I have to find a way to make it interesting, right? And you guys, like everyone in chat, as you should, is mostly negative about the state of the game, and as you should be. So like when I'm done my shift, Padre comes flying in with like the same complaints, and I'm like, dude, enough. Like I'm like, I don't want to hear about it because it's like the last thing. But he's not in my chat all the time. So, but yeah, that's like the thing. You guys don't understand. Like when I'm done my stream and my videos, I'm like, God, man, I just want to like not talk about it because it's like, damn, this kind of sucks. So it is what it is. But anyways, I think that's when it comes to the Table of Terravine and like the old fantasy cards or the old cards in general, there's a few. Like I have like I don't know if you guys do, but I have like a Mount Rushmore of like favorite cards from past games. Like there's a few cards that are like phenomenal. So like I use like the fantasy Brady Kachuk, the very first Evo event that they
that's
ever
a good
did.
one.
Then another one's like Miro Heiskanen's Lit versus Grit card. It's always the early defenseman I find because I remember Rasmus Dahlin had like a retro one too. Like
was that NHL 94 for some reason?
It was like the NHL 94. I think it was the launch of 20. I think I'm trying to remember the game. It's very hard, but I think that's kind of cool. If as long as they don't do full events, because of like you're regurgitating a full event, that's lame. I don't want to see that. But if you're giving away a free MSP from the past, that's kind of sick because the card art they already have. It's like they've already got it. The MLB does this too. Like MLB The Show puts out old content too.
Oh yeah, bad. A lot of it.
Like a lot of the things I noticed about MLB is because it's a real life card. They like it's the same. Like it's cool because it's a real life card. I would take that over headshots any day. But after 4 or 5 years of like MLB The Show, like we have like the same like Roger Maris card, or you know what I mean? Like I'm talking like Willie Mays. We have the same like card because it's a real life card, and they're not really coming up with anything new. So I don't mind it. I think that as long as they do it, Winter National Zdeno Chara. Like that's going to the all-time bad release. Dude, it's coming out. It's free. It's gonna be the Winter National.
I think too. Like our argument too. It was more like I also thought they were gonna do a Halloween event. I didn't know they weren't gonna do the Halloween event at all. So I was like, oh, they're being lazy. And like I said, at the time, I kind of thought just with like how the game has had no patches and everything that factored in. Obviously, like you said, I don't get to watch your streams as much as I like could or whatever, but. And I get that you deal with the negativity all the time, but I think it was just like you being stuck in the airport.
Oh, dude, I was
me getting done with. I think it was Hutch. I don't know, something. I think I was just sick of it, and yeah, I just thought it was like lazy that they did that. But like I have no issue with the free 88. I like it. I'm happy. Like I said, I'll take the free 88.
Cards also cracked.
And I'll take the free Kako too, or Capo Kako. Like Kessler's saying, I can't wait to get that if that's the case. If that's a free card, so
how do you even get that?
It's you have to have fantasy hockey or game day tilt cards or Evo cards in your lineup, but they give you a pack of like getting Sonny Milano or Nick Robertson for free. I think.
Where do they give you that?
It's in the other objective. Like if you go and look at fantasy hockey objectives, right, and then
after 25 games.
Yeah, it's like 25 games. You'll get one, so then you can use that one in your lineup. It's gonna take you forever. But
yeah, so go build a lineup, literally like I did with the Hut 23 cards and
Yeah.
primetime cards, and then just go play squad battles and 2-minute periods. Like I grinded out a decent amount of them in champs, but the quickest way to do it is go to 2-minute periods and you just bang them out real quick. And
the game
then
day
you'll
so
get
cards that they're pumping out, like dude, that Jack Hughes, we finally had
Yeah.
one like explode, which is that's cool. Like I like that. So I hope they keep doing stuff like that. I think, like I said, I think the content's been pretty strong. The fact that it's really hammered the market though, because there's no point in buying anything. People ask me like, I have 500K, what do I buy? It's like you have 3 free 88 overall cards. You know what I mean? It's
inflation.
like, yeah, dude. Like, I've been teaching people on my stream about that. They're learning about real life economics. Like the fact that all those milestones just give you 2K, and everyone's like, dude, you used to get free legend cards, and we don't even get packs anymore for milestones. It's like, dude, for every like 5 games you play, you get 10,000 coins.
Yeah.
And because all these events have given out free stuff, and the Evo event is not for anyone that doesn't have $1 billion, there's no reason to buy anything. So everyone has more coins. We need an event. We need an NHL under 22 event. This next event that's about to happen on Friday, it needs to be like that level. Because remember, like last year when under 22 was the first event where they gave out like 86s were really cheap and you could upgrade them, so everyone could have access to the event, and like all of the cards were sick. Like all of them were viable, right? Like they need to have an event like that, because if they don't, there's just gonna be so many coins. Like everything's, dude. McDavid's X Factor 1.7 mil. 1.7 mil. And it's the only card to chase. So like I have 1 million coins and I have like the best team. I have Lemieux, I have like all the good X factors, but I can't get, the only card for me to chase is Connor McDavid. Like that's it.
Yeah.
So I have to spend 2 million to get his card or keep trying the X Factor pack. So, you know, it is what it is. But give me a card you're using that surprises people being good. Can't be Tage Thompson because that was last week and sick.
That's my guy.
That's my team.
81 overall Quentin Byfield with truculence.
Okay.
There we go. Budget beast.
Okay. Padre?
Well, he took my one. I'll probably say the Craig Ludwig. I actually really liked him. The Hut Champs Craig Ludwig. He's 6'3". He gets 87 speed. He's got gold stick 'em up and silver shutdown. And for right now, this stage of the game, since most people can't get X Factor Hedman, and I think there's one more. Oh, Freder Tootin. If you're, broke as a joke like I am with this game. I mean, I got like 285K. The problem is it's like
nothing there, dude. There's nothing. That's the thing we're talking about.
Yeah. Right, and it's like, do I really want to spend? We were talking about this before the episode started. Like, do I want to spend like 40K on that Nichushkin? I mean, I guess I could. I just feel like in like a month he'll be like 15K, and like that's what I'm kind of worried about. I'm trying to be like very like strategic about it, so I set myself up good for team of the year. But that Craig Ludwig, I think gold stick 'em up and gold shutdown is super OP. I got that Letang for my free 88, so I know you were kind of kicking yourself. You were saying, I think, for taking Pasternak.
Yeah, that's stupid. Just because I would love to have Letang.
But that like Ludwig, like here's the thing, right? Like I feel like the X factors aren't as easy as they are to get last year. If you guys remember, last year in your pre-order, you got Matthews and Draisaitl right off the rip if you chose them, and those were some of the best.
And the choice packs only have 3.
Right, and most of the guys in the choice pack, like there wasn't any that are like, oh my gosh, he's a guaranteed like 99. I think they'll all be 99, obviously by like August, obviously. But yeah, like the X factors are harder to get this year, so I'm not using any X factors right now. I know Kessel, you're using the Zegras, and I think you have Leon and Sleazy. I'm sure you got way more than I do, but the thing is, like, I have no X factors, so it's like last year I was saving up all my chance collectibles for power ups. Well, this year it's like, well, what am I going to save it up for? And I feel like Craig Ludwig, like as of right now, is like one of the best lefty defensemen in the game, just because of how the game plays and the size and the stick 'em up.
You brought up a good point. What are your Kessa? What's the cards or the X Factor abilities that you think are by far the ones that you should target first in 23?
Shut down, stick 'em up, unstoppable force. I like make it snappy as a silver on McCann.
You just flick up with that, or
anything?
you pull it back? You flick up or pull
snapshot?
back?
Oh, dude, we didn't talk about that.
I know, right? So you pull back, right? But before you take the shot, you let go of the pullback. So you still get the pullback power plus the snapshot boost, because the game doesn't count. It's kind of funny, right? So like if you pull back but let go of the right stick, your player's still in the pullback animation, but it'll count as a snapshot. Like it's all
every
broken.
shot is registering as a snapshot. Yeah. Even when like
so,
you're setting it like as a wrister, it is still being registered as a snapshot, which is an issue in Hut Rush, which is what kind of magnified it.
Yeah.
And then I've been trying to figure out what attribute actually impacts a snapshot because we don't have that. Same with backhand. Maybe I'll get some clarity on that in a couple years. Yeah, I think that the ones that I've noticed, Unstoppable Force is because when you like you're allowed to deke and stuff now. When you get when someone tries to hit you, you like just kind of like bump off.
Dude, it
like,
looks so dumb.
It does look very dumb when you get caught in that animation. Like,
yeah.
I think I agree with you. Stick him up and shut down, or with the poke nerf, it allows you to automatically just poach. Like same thing kind of last year. Post to post.
Yeah, like
is
I'm running base Petrangelo and base Seth Jones with silver shutdown on defense, and they're like sick. Like how good it is.
Yep, those are pretty impactful. Quick draw too. I'm scared that they're gonna release.
Talk about what happened today when me and you were testing that out,
dude. Okay, so I made my face-off video. Kesso, this might actually interest you. I was making my face-off video, right? And I was like, Padre, hop on the stream, and we'll just bang it. I just need clips, right? We're going through them all, and it was a stick lift on a tie-up. He was using Taves, who had quick draw, and I was using Lemieux, who did not have quick draw, and he's
no, Jokinen. You were using Jokinen.
Oh, I was using Jokinen, and
you were higher and I was lower, and we both had silver. Yeah, exactly. Every time.
So I don't know what's going on with it, but I think that quick draw we were in I think that quick draw supersedes everything. Like it'll beat even just counters too. So there's games I've been on stream where something I like to do because it's like the only thing I'm elite at is face offs, and I'm like, okay, this guy is going to do a tie up, so I'm going to stick lift here, and I'll say it, and there was a game where I think I went 4-21 on the draw, and I was saying what the counter to what he was going to do, and I did it every single time, and I still lost. And part of me thinks that if you have any sort of quick draw on, that it might just supersede everything. Or it's really impacted by your ping this year. I don't think it was in prior years, but like there's been some games where I just lost every single one. Like it made no sense, but yeah, I think quick draw, we're gonna see some centerman on it. I think that the first time we get a centerman with gold quick draw that's like an 89 and above, it's gonna be pretty impactful. I think.
Can I ask you guys too? I wrote in the chat because I don't want to forget about it. Butterfly effect on that Shesterkin. That is the one like smaller goalie that I've played that I noticed. I'm like, that thing lights up like nonstop. And I know we've talked about it in the past, like with how it lights up.
It's placebo, like whatever lights up on any shot.
Right. Yeah. So with this though, that's just Sturkin. There's something else with it. I mean, every goal you can score on in this game, even Markstrom, and I know there's a lot of hype around him, but dude, that's just Sturkin is something else. And he's only 6'1", and when I've played him, just some of the animations, he seems to make a lot of those those animations you talk about, sleeves. Yes, he makes a ton of those, and I don't know what it is. And like contortionist with Vasilevsky, I remember last year during the Tampa Bay tournament, I noticed that a ton too. He was making a lot of those ESHL animations last year in the Tampa tournament.
That's that's what I've talked about like ever since X Factors came into the game. Like the ones that don't impact attributes, but they impact animations are like by like close quarters is one. Like you will get a full power shot and accuracy no matter what, if it's a rebound and the puck isn't settled, which is why like you'll see some where like it's a shot in and the puck is literally sideways like knuckle pucked on your stick and you're just throwing it in. And that's another one that's like when the goalies all went to the new animations in EASHL, like it doesn't matter what their attributes are, which is, dude, it's broken too. This is the easiest explanation or example of this being broken is if you play rookie on Hut Rush or challenges, the goaltenders will be unbelievable because it has nothing to do with their attributes. It is all just their animations. I mean, Kessler, I think you've seen this in Hut Rush, right?
Yeah, I did. I had a tweet about it because I went into a Hut Rush game like just to try to get the objectives done.
Yep.
And I put it on rookie. And I know how to score in Hut Rush. Like you win the draw, you go straight down, you do a breakaway or whatever. I get it. I was just playing it casually. I was doing good passing plays. I was getting good shots, and they were making every save. So I tweeted. I was like, "Hey, I'm one of the better players in the world at this game, and I'm having trouble scoring casually, right? Like, and my whole point of it was like, if I'm a casual player playing on rookie, what kind of experience would that be if I can't with like good plays? And dude, I had like 30 people just like they were like, oh, well, you must not be good at the game, or like, good. There's another game changer complaining. I guess they're gonna fix it or like
Yeah,
change the
like, oh,
game.
dude, like, here comes the patch. Like,
yeah. I was like, no, that wasn't the point at all. I'm like, just if I'm playing it casually, these goalies are making absurd saves.
Yeah.
And then I had people giving me tips on how to score on Rookie Hot Rush.
I can't. It's interesting. All right, before we go, let's talk about some of our favorite cards that are interesting that you kind of want to try out or you have been trying out. Are there any from the Evo event that you are really going to try and get before the event is over?
No.
Okay.
No.
Butter?
I'm good. I'll pass.
I texted Tom. Like earlier we alluded to him being in the stream. I texted him, I kind of wish I would have made his Evo card.
I feel like that's like, you should.
I should have just because who cares? I'm not going to win GWC. I'm not going to win GWC. I guess I just get so competitive with this game when I'm playing. It's like I want to win, right? Like, and I want to use the meta build. Sometimes I forget like this is supposed to be like the ultimate team mode, and we're supposed to have fun. Like in MLB, I use cards I like my players I like. I have fun with it. In this game, I always just use like the meta in my opinion, and I wish I would have done Tomer. And I told him I should have just done you just to put some pressure on you, but.
He's going for like 500K, bro. His is getting so cheap that like you might, because he'll probably.
I might be able just to snag him, right? Yeah. I guess the cards. My favorite cards I've been using is Tage Thompson. I think he is the best player in the game.
He's going for over 100K.
And I was gonna ask you. You have him too. Do you use the Gold Ensemble Force? Is it worth using on the 6'6" guy? I've been using it. I just wonder how much. Okay,
that's what like I said, like me and Kessler talked like what we talked about. So like when you get bumped and you get this like magnetic force field, it happens when Ensemble Force like activates. Like
sure,
especially with how this game is played, where you just circle around and you try to shoot far side. Like it's nuts. Like Tage's card is an example, guys, for anyone that is not like a Division 1 player or someone that has like I've always talked about this, like I have to use the meta guys because I'm not good enough to not use the meta guys and play in the division I'm in, which is like frustrating, whereas these two can use whoever they want, right? So like the Tage Thompson cards, the prime times, almost all of them prime times or team of the weeks when they get released immediately lose value. Like they're like a car. Second they drive off the lot, they're just going to tank. So always sell them. But there's a few. If you get a few cards that have an ability that is like impressive, I couldn't believe they gave Ensemble Force to a 6'6" player.
Stunning.
It is nuts, right? So those are the ones where if you buy them and get a hold of them, just wait until they're out of packs because then they're sought after. The one I'm trying to think of that at the high end was that 2030 NHL 21 goalie that everyone used for GWC. Oh my god, what's his name? I think he catches lefty too. Oh my god,
Amelka? No,
it wasn't a Noonan. Justice and Noonan.
Okay. Oh, Noonan. Yeah. Well, they all catch lefty, but I was sorry.
I thought he caught right. My bad.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, a Noonan. Everyone had a Noonan.
Yeah, but like the problem was that event happened in January, and he's only like a 92 or 93. And when GBC was happening, it was 99, and his price was like 700K in April. Those are the cards where you can make a ton of coins because they're super meta players, and usually it's guys that are like 6'2" and above that are gonna have any defenseman that's 6'2" that has stick them up and shut down are gonna be dumb expensive. But yeah, those are the ones you want to watch out for. That I agree that Tage Thompson was nuts. I'm trying to think of like. Oh, I haven't.
Can I tell you how I got him too? I was sitting in Discord probably with I can't remember who we sit in Discord all the time, so it's like I forget who's even in there. And I'm like, man, I need to get this Tage Thompson. He's so expensive though. I really want to try him out. I might just spend like however much he was. And I did my rivals packs, and you'll never like first one. Bang, and there's Tage.
Untradeable. You got him in Rivals.
Untradeable Tage Thompson.
So
and I'm like,
lucky. I haven't pulled a damn thing or said pulling the best card in the game.
but dude, there's a lot of kids in this community that are probably like that's what I'm saying. And there's kids in the community that are like, Tage Thompson, who cares about him? Like, give me Crosby. That's not a good pull. And I was so happy. I was like, this is the greatest thing ever. And it's so funny because like, everyone always is like, oh, like, I'm always like complaining about the game, and then of course I get a good pull. Kessa, I have to ask you. Because the big tipper, how is that Johan Loshing, I guess his name is, a goal big tipper? Dude, I pulled him.
He's quick.
Does he score big tippers, though? Does he score the tips?
He scored them. I don't know if he's scoring them because of... Dude,
is there a way to?
I don't know. Like, he scored some good ones, but I also don't know if, like, a guy without it would have scored them,
Like, could we sit in practice mode in ESHL, and would it transfer over? Like if I sat there with someone big tipper and like 75 hand-eye.
Yeah.
And we tried to keep it as, you know, a controlled experiment as much as possible. And I wonder if it would, because like those are the ones that like remember how excited we were last year, but tips didn't go in like they did last year, like they do now. So
I know, and
I'm trying to think.
I'm having fun using it. He's not a bad card. He has 94 slap shot power and wrist shot power,
like that,
which is like absurdly high.
Yeah, not bad. We have a lot to talk about in the Real Hockey Bar. I just thought.
I know. I'm excited for that one,
dude. Carlson.
Before you guys going back with X factors. So I know you have Leon.
I don't.
I know you haven't used him yet. I pulled Kaprizov, and I didn't even think twice about like, should I use him or should I not? I know he has the wheels, but I'm like,
wheels only effective if they are overnight. Like,
I know
it's not fast enough to have it.
Like, we have breaking news too. I don't know who told me last night. Nathan.
It can't be breaking news if it's last night.
Well, last night we had a stunning development at 1 a.m. So last year I helped you make like a video with the custom skating strides.
Yes.
So
this was huge.
So this is huge news.
Wait.
Svechnikov has a custom skating. I need to be not lazy one day, and like this is really annoying, but I have to go through every player, I guess, to find who doesn't have it. If they are 50 out of 99 in edit player, then that means it's not custom. The 5 guys that have it now are McKinnon, Eichel, Panarin, McDavid, and then Svechnikov is the new one. And I need to go back to NHL 22, or maybe if anybody in the chat can do it for me. I don't have it down.
I made a video on it after you told me. It's Panarin.
Well, but I never checked Svechnikov last year.
I went through
you
every single player.
I have to say, Optum ZL found it before last night because I
Thank you, Optum.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to check them all.
Is there
he has a custom stride
that's like somewhat?
I think he has a sick one.
He had a primetime or a team of the week, right?
Yeah, and by the way, Kesso, get ready, bud. He's got that ability that on his base or like on his edit player thing, he has that ability that Zegers has. So that's a card in the future that you're going to be able to.
He's going to get high skilled up or whatever.
Yes, and Kessel will be sitting there behind the net with him and Zegers making TikToks.
I hate that. It's only why is someone at EA being like, you know what? We're going to mess around with Svechnikov's skating style and then forget about it.
I might try his 84 out.
Yeah, he's got an 84.
Yeah, if he has that custom skating stride, he might be good.
But his 83 base card has wingman. If you get that, he's actually faster, and he's also got silver snipe, which I did notice a few sites.
I just thought of something. Here's what we need to do. So as of right now, if it's like last year, Connor McDavid, Panarin, Eichel, and McKinnon are the ones that have the random skating. If you go into edit player, you can see the stride. I want to take a card of Eichel and whatever and skate with them. And if it does not match up, then we have confirmation that this is literally just numbers and a random build and nothing matters. But there's hope if these random 5 players actually act differently. Because I didn't do that. I didn't go in. I went and found all the ones that have custom strides, but I didn't go and compare it to see what it looks like.
I think there's a difference. That Eichel is
I remember Eichel and Panarin
unreal.
Being faster, and McDavid feeling like faster. Yeah. So
Eichel, McKinnon, McDavid, I noticed.
Easy, like either. Yeah. I remember like McKinnon.
He like drops his arm and like it's like a flying everywhere.
Yeah.
So, like,
Optimum in the chat says I don't believe any of this is what they do in real life, dude. None of these guys skate this in real life. I don't know. I don't know what in the world.
My theory is that someone went in and messed around with the build, was like, let's just change some things up here, and then like got 5 in and is like, I'm not doing this, like, and like just forgot to like revert it back. Like that's 1,000% what I think.
Sleeves. They were sitting there in the office one day, and also they're like, time for lunch. They just walked away.
Yeah, the guy came in. He's like, all right, fire this patch into the engine. We're gonna go. Like that's what. All right, so someone in chat. Go and look and just record the skating stride in the edit player, and then go and take a player and record it and see if it looks any different or if it's the same. Because if it's not the same, then it's not even taking the card's style, and there's nothing different about these players. It is literally just the pens is 3 beers deep, and he's just absolutely loaded. What up, David? Thank you for the raid, brother. All right, that is actually going to do it, though, for episode 53. What a jam-packed episode. We fought with a viewer. We yelled about the game. Lots of stuff. Absolutely nuts. Fun. And then tomorrow, we're going to do the Real Hockey Podcast, catch up on the season so far. Dude, so many good things. so many good things. Because
it's a good hockey year. Dude, it really is.
It's so funny, the Karlsson thing. Like, I forgot how much the world wants Karlsson to be good. Hockey, you know what I mean? There's a few players that when they're good, hockey is just better. You know, Karlsson's one of them. So, he's ruining my shot at Bedard, but it is what it is. All right, guys, that is going to do it. Make sure that you subscribe to the podcast, and please check out Gamersaloon as they sponsor this fine podcast. And if you are looking to play money games, and not just NHL, in any video game, they are the place to do it. They are the safest place to do wager matches at Gamersaloon.com. Link is down below. Make sure you check them out. And we'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.